Alrighty, this is going to be part 6 of Tales of Destiny Director's Cut. Whatever. I was so close to being in the city. Anyways, we're in the city now. Oof, the humidity here is unreal. Stan says, so this is the city of Heidelberg. Ruti says, it's just like when we were in Tadazi. There's no sign of people, it's very quiet. Philia says, it's as if the whole city is in mourning. The soldier says, Your Highness, you are safe and sound. I am aware of the situation. Excuse me, you and your friends, please hide. Okay. The soldier says, the rebels are out patrolling the streets right now. Where is Graybum? He is at the castle, but he's got so many men in the city that it's impossible to get through the front. Stan says, what should we do? Woodrow says, let's use the emergency passageway we went through the other day when we fled from the castle. Dimlo says, isn't that the most important secret in defense? Woodrow says, I don't care, you are my friends. Head for the house on the east side of town. That's the entrance to the emergency passageway. Well, I'm gonna assume everything's locked, like it was in the last place, so... The east. Does it want me to go this way? Look any different? Oh, there's a house on the east side of town. Okay. It's all become clear to me now. Down the bathtub? Or is this not the right house? Must not be the right house. It'll probably just kick in with dialogue once I go in the right place, so guess we gotta keep looking. Perhaps not. Wait, I thought it said inspect one more time. Yep. Tales of Bunny Destiny. You know it. This is the entrance to the fire escape. It's so dark, it'll be hard to tell what's going on all the way down there. Stan, you go first. Okay, here I go. No hesitation at all. In a way, he's pretty incredible. Oh. Stan says, oh man, it's too dark to see anything. Dimlo says, why did you just rush in like this? What if there are enemies down here? You crooked fiend. Darzan says, as long as I, Darzan, draw breath, you shall not pass. Prepare yourself. Stan says, whoa, I'm not the enemy. Woodrow says, Darzan, you're okay. Darzan says, and your highness? Oh, you're real, it's really you, your highness. I'm sure of it. You know me, I usually rock the ears. Darzan says, I'm thrilled to see you still alive, your majesty. Stan says, oh, thank God. Dimlo says, that's why I told you not to jump in right away. Darzan says, there's a rest area in the back. Let's talk about the details there. Why didn't they put a sex area in instead? Would have been way more useful. Why would there be monsters in this place? It's kind of weird. A bottle of booze. I could definitely go for some of that. Oof. Darzin says because of Greybum, the people in the castle are terrified. How does he control so many monsters? Stan says, the Eye of Atimony. Darzin says, nevertheless, those who join the rebellion are the ones who should truly be pitied. Greybum said he wanted to change the country, and in the end they bought into everything he was selling. Now we're at his mercy as our city burns. Mary says, impossible. Dallas would never allow that to happen. Darzin says, why do you still stand by that man? Ruti says, don't worry about it. Keep talking. Darzin continues, after all, His Majesty made the correct decision. It is only natural to subjugate those who are impious through enough to threaten the royal family. Impious, Jesus. Woodrow says, what do you mean, threaten the royal family? Darzin says, Your Highness didn't know? 2 years ago, a party from Cyril was here demanding independence from the rule of His former Majesty. The king refused, and due to their arrogance, they were met with the blade. Mary says, what? Woodrow says, I didn't know that. Dimlo says, so the royal army was sent to Cyril. Leon says, they threatened an uprising, it's only natural that he'd do that. Mary says, impossible, Dallas wouldn't do such a thing. Woodrow says, where in the castle is Greybum now? Darzin says, he is often seen in the tower, that's probably where he is. Ruti says, and Dallas? Darzin says, of course he'll be around, he's almost like a confidant of Greyboom now, you know. Stan says, so there's only one place we need to go to, huh? Mary says, I don't know, I wonder what Dallas was thinking. Did I really know anything about him? Ruti says, Mary, hold your ground, you've come this far, you've got to find the truth. Don't worry, I'm here for you. Mary says, oh yeah. Dimlo says, we have to go. Stan says, you're right, let's settle this. Mary says, if Dallas is indeed complicit with Greybum, then I guess we'll see. Woodrow says, Darzin, what was my late father like from your point of view? Darzin said, he was a splendid monarch worthy of the name the Wise King. He was always thinking about the country as a whole and made precise and sometimes decisive decisions. There was never a mistake in the way that he did things. Woodrow says, okay. Darzin says, Your Highness, the expectations of the people now rest on you. When you have defeated Greybum, please accede to the throne as soon as possible. Woodrow says, I didn't know anything about it. How sinful that is. I wonder if I'm qualified to take over from my father. Chelsea says, Woodrow? Woodrow says, oh, I'm sorry. I'm coming. Looks like a lot of the people in the town are here. I kinda wanted to mess around with some different party members. I used to sell weapons in the city. Apparently she still does now. a secret tunnel, kids. Mr. Darzin brought me here. He's a rapist, though, I fear. He put his wiener in my ear and jiggled it until I cried. Or something like that. The meat shop owner. Except for that liquor bottle. Tasty booze. With this much booze, you just can't lose. Shablamo. Alright. Nothing too interesting here. Actually, let's refill that. Ugh, my allergies are being really mean to me today. Turbo time. It's turbo time! Ooh. It's some kind of switch, bitch. Oh, that will hurt me if I touch it? Why? It's a freaking ice cube. That she has some anti-aircraft attacks. The fuck do I do about that nonsense? Oh, you know, there's this stupid thing. Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot about that. And then I remembered. T-Heasels. These ice mechanics. Wow, they're gonna make me hit that precisely, huh? I'll probably have to take off the turbo speed when I get closer up there. Oh, we're dancing on some ice. It must be Nathan Chen. Definitely not Nathan Chen. He's way hotter than me. Let's be real. Such a handsome dude. Okay. Oh, he fell again. But at least I hit that target thing. Did I check in here? I think there was just 2 items. Yeah. Meow. Meow, meow. Oh my god. Oh, we're going. We're slipping, we're sliding. All the characters seem like they're pretty good in this game. Like, I don't think there's like a... this party is way better than the other party kind of stuff happening. wonder if I can make any of the stuff better. Nope, not yet. Whee! Look at us go! Okay, it's not slippery in that room. Got some more items. Nothing very interesting. I swear, this game has like the least diverse items in all the Tales games. And there's like no point to your money in this game, because you mostly upgrade your weapons with like materials that enemies drop. So I don't really get it, like what the point of the gold is other than to buy items. Got hourglass. I might have some secret stuff for sale. Doesn't look like it, man. The peddler says thank you. Aha. Mary says, Dallas. Woodrow says, an ambush? Dallas says, I warned you to get out of here. Why did you come back? Mary says, because I need to ask you something. Dallas says, and I didn't know you were working with Woodrow. There is only one answer to this question. Mary says, Dallas. Stan says, stop it. Mary told me about you. Dallas says, I will listen no more. Prepare yourselves. Let's just speed that up. Yeesh, almost everything that guy does staggers us. Bye. Mary says, why must we cross blades? Dallas says, your beauty hasn't changed over the years. Mary says, you fool. Stan says, Dallas, are you aware of what Greybum is planning? Dallas says, yes. Stan says, then why? Ruti says, calm yourself. Let Mary do the talking. Mary says, Dallas. I hate it when people just say each other's names. Mary, Dallas, Stan, Mary. Dallas says, I wanted to guide Pandaria into a new era, one where all is ruled by the people, not just one king. Mary says, that's right, you were always so passionately talking about that. You'd always say that in order for the country to progress, the rights of the people must be elevated. Clemente says, that way of thinking is never a mistake, this man is truly ahead of his time. Dallas says, but the old me was far too hasty. I was so preoccupied with implementing this reform that I simply demanded it outright. Of course, that wasn't enough to persuade King Isaac. He also had a lot on his shoulders. The me of 2 years ago just wasn't able to understand that. Dimlo says, so, in order to try to force this reform, he threatened an uprising. Dallas says, this is all because of my carelessness. Mary, I'm sorry you got caught up in it. Mary says, don't say that, I'm just happy to see you again. Dallas says, Mary, after I lost you, I was captured and imprisoned. Over the following 2 years, I realized something. An uprising would be futile. When Greybum freed me, I thought for sure this time I would surely realize my ideals the right way. But reality is never so simple, says a sword. Dallas says Graybum's methods are brutal. At this rate, Fandaria will... Stan now interrupts and says, so that's why you told Mary to get out of the country. But if that's what you felt, why were you still helping Graybum? Dallas says, when he freed me, he had already been acting like we were cohorts. I don't think this will last long. Eventually the rebellion will be stopped. When that happens, someone will have to take responsibility, and that person will be me. Phileas says, are you saying you'll take all of the blame so the other rebels won't be punished? Stan says, you can't do that. Dallas, you have to consider Mary's feelings. She went through so much to get her memory back to remember you. Stan says, Woodrow, what are you doing? Could he be? Mary says, Woodrow, no. Woodrow says, Mary, step aside. Woodrow says, to your feet, Dallas. Dallas says, I'm ready. I'll take whatever fate I'm deserving of. Woodrow says, good. Mary says, stop. Woodrow says, you can't stay here any longer. Hurry and escape the castle. Heal your wounds and come back and visit later. Dallas says, what do you think you're doing? Woodrow says, I'm going to choose a different path than my father's. I shall work alongside you to improve the country. Let us fight to the end to decide the path the country will take. Not with blades, but with words. Dallas says, the son of Isaac the Wise is even more wise than his father. I've lost. Mary gives Dallas head in front of everyone. I'm not leaving. I'll never leave you again. Ruti says, Dallas wasn't really following Graybum, was he? Atwhite says, we can only assume his name was used for recruitment. Phileas says, how underhanded. Stan says, I'll never forgive you. Mary says, I need to ask a favor. I need to be with Dallas. I'm sorry, but this is where I'm home now. I don't want to be a warrior. I want to be his wife. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, whatever. Get the fuck out of here. I wish you happiness, Broham. Chaltier says, is this okay, Master Leon? She's a criminal, isn't she? Leon says, I'll be sure to report this. She was injured and we had no choice but to abandon her. Mary says, thank you, everyone. Mary says, Woodrow. Mary says, thank you for sparing Dallas' life. I truly appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart. Woodrow says, I should be the one thanking you. Thanks to you, I'm more prepared. Stan says, more prepared? Prepared? Woodrow says, one must be aware of their position and responsibilities as well as be prepared to take on everything life throws at them. In order to accomplish that, we must first defeat Graybum. Stan says, yeah, let's go. Mary says, everyone, please be safe. I believe you will be victorious. Cliché anime, fuck. Mary left her party. Oh no, so psyched. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah. Yeah. Got that free shit. Free shit. Daddy loves having that free shit. Do 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 do. Need some more shit. Wanna keep it free. Let's check. There's so many ways to go. That's back where we came. I don't know. I don't really like having the archer in my party as much. Oh, that sucks, because now I can't have her polish gems. Mary, come back! I need you to polish my gem. Fuck did that do? The ice melted. Oh yeah. There seems to be some kind of trick in the placement of the flames. Okay. I don't know what to do with those. Probably just go back and maybe there'll be like secrets or hints as to what I'm supposed to do with those flames in other parts of the castle. Who's this blonde bitch? She a blonde ass bitch. Bitch. She's a blonde ass bitch. Portrait of Woodrow's mama. Hey man, you know that picture of your mama in that room, baby? Is this the throne room? I hereby rename the throne room the Bone Room. It's time for gay sex. It is a ceremonial chair. What do we got in here? What kind of goodies? Yet, so there's really nothing to do with that. Wait, there's like a furnace in here. Did I go in here? Yeah, that's where that picture is. Back towards that puzzle. And that's back where I came from the first time. So I haven't explored the top level or the right level completely yet. So let's go this way first. A Chris dagger. I think everybody's fine, equipment-wise. I think that was just for Leon. Alright, nothing really here. Can I move these? go that way? It's probably just the entrance or something. So the only way I haven't gone is this way. And there's nothing here. So I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell I have to do with those flames. Alrighty. Let's go back. It was back this way. I gotta look up the solution to that puzzle, because they've given me no clues, and that kinda sucks. Some flames over here. Let's see. Yeah, I have no idea what to do with this. Oh, you know what? This probably is the clue. Okay. Because I can't interact with these ones, so I just need those three. So blank, 2 on, 2 off, flame. So blank, 2 on, 2 off, flame. Alright, blank, 2 on, 2 off. Haha, success. Okay, I'm just stupid, that's what that was. You tricked me, game, you tricked me. I'm telling everyone what you did. Can't ride that cool thing. Oh, maybe they only go a certain direction. So good. Or maybe I wasn't positioned correctly. Apparently I can get enough fight while I'm on top of that cog. It's a brave place to do battle. You're climbing the tower, baby. I expected at all. Alright, let me fix that. Thaw she blows. Okay. That's where I came in, I think. Was that not where I came in? I'm confused. I guess I just missed that box. Oh, I can't pick it up because I have too many items. Okay. What's that gonna do? Just take me to the bottom again? Yeah. So I don't need to touch those. They're just there to piss me off, I guess. Well, it seems like I have a full amount of all those items, so we'll just do that instead. I see now. I see what your game is, game. I see what you're doing. Naughty boy. Alright, so... Oh, I solved the puzzle, apparently. Get back over there. I was just double checking it to see if I could do anything else with it. Alright. It's too hard to move. Die, because I should probably turn the turbo off for that part. Rude. I pushed the button. Oh well. Just giving Stan some exercise here. He loves it. There we go. Down to go up, I guess. Oh, Jesus, we're jumping. Oh yeah. We're getting there. Just gotta run up these stairs. Like this level design with like the swirly like spiral staircase reminds me of like the Mega Man X games. I don't know which one it is, but I know some of those games have like these spiral staircase thingies, which are kind of cool looking. There's a lot of that design in Nier Automata's first stage / demo too. Alright, I think it's boss time. Stan says, Greybum, this time it's over. You people, I never thought you'd make it this far. Well, well, well. Hello, Your Highness. I thought you escaped. I didn't expect to see you so soon. Woodrow says, I'm not so easily swayed by such vulgar provocations. In the name of the royal house of Fondaria, now is the time to settle all of this. Then I shall use your own sword to strike you all down. Igtanos! Everyone, don't worry about me, just take down Greybum. Furthermore, I've got something special in store for you lots. Behold the power of the Eye of Atimony. Oh no, it broke a ceiling and turned it into a dragon boy. Oh, that's kind of cool. Did you get all your plans planted? Greybum says impossible. How could I have? Stan says we won. Ruti says you've caused us a lot of trouble, but I think we're finally done. Philia says Greybum, it's over. There's no point in resisting any longer. Woodrow says I'll take Igtanos back now, Greybum. Greybum says you fool. Don't think you've won so easily. Chelsea says Woodrow. Greybum says as long as I have the Eye of Atimony, I'm invincible. Igtanos screams. Dimlo says no, he's going to channel the divine power of the Eye directly into the sword. His core crystal won't be able to withstand that. The sword now contains the Eye of Atimony's power. With this, I will strike you down. Woodrow says stop it. Stan says look out. Greybum screams and passes out. Clemente says what a fool. Leon says in the end he destroyed himself. Philia says the glint in the Eye of Atimony has subsided. Ruti says I was worried for a moment there. Woodrow picks up the sword and says, Igtanos, what's wrong? Dimlo says, why aren't you saying anything? Answer him. Atwhite says, what if he can't talk even if he wants to? Leon says, are you saying the Swordian was damaged? Stan says, what? Chaltier says, Ignitos? Dimlo says, Ignitos. Clemente says, it seems he still has a minimum amount of functionality, but it appears he's completely lost the ability to communicate. Dimlo says, can he choose Woodrow as his new master? Clemente says, not in this state. Woodrow says, that sucks. Stan says, we've just taken him back from Greybum, too. Leon says, is there no way to repair him? Chaltier says it requires special equipment, but it doesn't exist anymore. Atwhite says, Igtanos. Woodrow says, let's just be glad we recovered him. Thank you, Swordians. Dimlo says, we were just doing our job. There's no need to thank us. Stan says, still, this Eye of Atimony is still an amazing light. I felt as if I were being swallowed up. I was scared. Honestly, I can't believe this is some kind of lens. It's so bright. Greybum says, so, he got what he wanted after all. I'm sure he'll be very happy, Leon. Leon says, what? What who wanted? I see, you're just like me after all. Answer me, what are you talking about? Those who are unaware they are little more than pawns must live like lives of bliss. Leon says, hey, Greybum. Ugh, he's gone. Woodrow says, what are you gonna do with the eye? Take it back to Synagald? Leon says, that's what we're supposed to do. I'm gonna use the Draconis that Greybum used to carry it. Woodrow says, I'll come with. We can't just leave the eye to Synagald. Philia says, "What's wrong with you, Stan? You look so tense." Stan says, "You know what? Shouldn't we destroy this thing?" Dimlos says, "What?" "A lot of people have suffered because of it. I think it would be better if it didn't exist." Dimlos says, "Stan, I know how you feel, but it's not possible." Stan says, "Why not?" Atwhite says, "If it could be destroyed, it would have been done 1,000 years ago." Clemente says, "We couldn't even do it. That's why we went through the trouble of hiding it from the beginning." Philia says, "No way." Stan says, "You'll never know unless you try. It might be different this time." Woodrow says, "I'll help you. The existence of the Eye has had a negative impact on relations between nations. As the head of a country, I shall carry out the destruction." Philia says, "Actually, I was thinking the same thing as you, Stan. Ailys, the bishop, may be angry with me, but I think this is the right choice. I'll do my best to help you." Clemente says, "I don't think she's going to listen to me." Ruti says, "It hurts that I can't make good money on a lens this good, but I don't want some idiot to misuse it again." Stan says, "I've already decided I'll do whatever I can to destroy this thing." Dimlo says, "Okay, I'm not going to stop you." Stan says, "What about you, Leon?" Leon says, "You've forgotten what our mission was. Do you think I would allow you to go against the king's orders?" Leon says, "If we're gonna do this, let's get on with it." Chelsea says, "I'll help too." Alright, let's tear it apart. They're gonna try to smash this thing? I guess they failed. Stan says, "Not a scratch." Clemente says, "As I thought." Dimlo says, "Give up now." Stan says, "Damn it." Ruti says, "We have no choice. Let's bring it back to Synagald. We've done the best we can. The big guys will take care of the rest. Right, Woodrow?" Woodrow says, "Yes." Ruti says, "So why don't we just leave it at that? We served our original purpose." Stan says, "You're right. Let's go back to Synagald with our heads held high." Stan says, "It's been a while since the last time I was on the Draconis." Ruti says, "You almost got yourself killed the last time you were on board. You were having too much fun at a time like that." "Is that so, Mr. Stan?" "That's right. This guy stowed away on the Draconis. He was caught napping and got mistaken for a spy. Isn't that crazy?" Chelsea says, "You've led a very tumultuous life, it seems." Dimlos says, "You were reckless and got yourself into serious danger." Stan says, "That's okay. After all, everything worked out in the end." Stan says, "Where's Leon?" Woodrow says, "I think he went inside earlier." Philia says, "Is he not feeling well?" Stan says, "That's not good. I'm gonna go check on him." Ruti says, "I'll go with you." Chaltier says, "Hang in there, young master." Leon says, "I know." Stan says, "Leon, what's wrong?" Leon says, "I just wanted to lie down for a bit." Ruti says, "You've had motion sickness the entire time we've been on the Draconis, haven't you?" Leon says, "Shut up. Leave me alone." Ruti says, "Here, if I massage this part of your wrist, you should feel a little better." She's giving him a hand job. Oh my. Leon says, "I guess I do feel a little better." Philia says, "Stan, how is Leon doing?" Ruti is looking after him right now. Ruti? That's unusual. They seem to be getting along. It should be fine to leave them alone. Philia says, "If they're getting along so well, I'm sure it's thanks to you." "We've all changed to some degree, all thanks to you." "Really?" "Yes, Leon, Ruti, and even me." Stan says, "I don't recall doing anything special." Philia says, "That's okay, it must have come naturally to you. We'll just call it the Stan charm." Stan says, "You're making me blush, but thank you." Philia says, "Stan, and trails off, because she is interrupted by Chelsea, who says, "We're approaching Synagald." Stan says, "Well, Philia, looks like it's time to go." Philia says, "Yes, I see." The king says, "You have done a great deed, reclaiming the Eye of Antimony. Furthermore, I would like to thank His Highness Woodrow for the direct conveyance of the Eye of Antimony." Woodrow says, "Let's put together a policy on how to store the Eye as soon as possible." The king says, with the combined efforts of our two countries, we should be able to set up a complete security system. Woodrow says, we are happy to help. Dryden says, Leon. Leon says, sir. The king says, you've completed your mission while looking after these criminals. It is unfortunate that one was lost, however, you've done a wonderful job. Leon says, thanks. Dryden says, Stan and Ruti. Your work was also excellent. In light of the safe return of the Draconis, the two of you are free to go. Also, about your request to be a soldier. Stan says, I've actually changed my mind. I've learned a lot through this trip. I met a lot of people, I saw a lot of things and thought about, but I still have a lot to learn. I want to see more people of the world and meet some more people. Oh my god. The king says, and you can't do that as a soldier? Stan says, I'm really sorry, but I wanted to pursue other experiences first. For this reason, I cannot become a soldier yet. So then, what will you do? I will return to my hometown and think about what to do next. The king says, I understand. I'll take care of the matter. You can come back when you feel like it. My kingdom will be waiting for you with an empty seat. However, you will return Dimlos to me. My kingdom has ownership of it. If you return, we will hand him back to you. Stan says, I'm sorry for being so selfish. Thank you. The king says, well then, King Woodrow, I would like to begin our discussion immediately. Woodrow says, certainly, let's begin by asking the Swordians for their opinions on the matter. Stan says, I didn't think that would take so long. Philia says, it's very important that we seal away the eye properly. Woodrow says, thanks to the advice of the Swordians, we were able to create a perfect sealing facility. Woodrow says, from now on, the armies of both of our countries will be stationed there. Clemente says, we've done all we can. We have no choice but to have faith in you. Woodrow says, then Chelsea and I will return through Janos. Stan, please come visit us. Feel free to drop in whenever you like. Please leave Mary and the others to us. Stan says, I'm sure I'll go visit them again. Guess we're all breaking up. Philia says, I will return to the temple. Stan says, I know it's been tough for you, thanks for your hard work. Philia says, it wasn't all like that. When all is said and done, I had a lot of fun on this trip. For me, who knew only the inside of the temple, it was a good opportunity to see the outside world. I'm truly thankful to everyone, because without them I wouldn't have had this opportunity in the first place. Stan says, I'm grateful to you too, Philia. Thanks to you, I also learned lots of new things. Philia says, well then, I bid you farewell, Stan. Erliane, whatever. The soldier says, excuse me. Stan says, goodbye, Dimlos. The next time we meet, I'll be stronger. Dimlos says, there is no guarantee that I will be here when you return. If I find a better master, I won't hesitate to choose them. Stan says, you could at least act like you're sad to see me go. Oh well. Chaltier says, Dimlos won't show it himself either. Stan says, Leon, what are you gonna do? Leon says, what else? I'll await further orders. Stan says, you've done a lot already, you should take some time to rest. Leon says, such is my duty as a hedge knight. Stan says, I'm glad I was able to travel with you, Leon. We went through a lot, but it was a lot of fun. Leon says, what are you doing? Stan says, what are you doing? Leon says, don't mimic me. Stan says, come on, Leon, after all that, you still dislike me that much? I consider you to be a good friend, Leon. Leon says, don't waste your breath. I can't stand people like you. But I'll make a small exception. Stan says, this is kinda nice. Leon says, The soldier says, the Draconis is ready, we can depart at any time. Stan says, I should say goodbye to Ruti, where did she go? Leon says, I saw her at the castle. Stan says, I'll go look for her. Can you wait for a minute? The soldier says, understood. Re-rise is no longer possible due to the absence of our Swordians. Okay. She's in the castle, so I guess we're going there. Stan says, Ruti, there you are. Oh no, the doggies are going crazy again. Stan says, you should have said farewell to everyone. Ruti says, I'm not good with goodbyes. I better get going. Now that Hugo has paid me, I'm gonna take it easy for a while. I don't have to hustle and bustle to collect lens anymore. Stan says, where in Sinagald is your hometown? Ruti says, it's a small town called Cresta. It's not too far from here. Stan says, I'll have to visit you next time I go. Ruti says, never visit me. Do you understand? If you go there, then I'm through with you. Stan says, okay, I got it. Stan, I told you before that back home there were people waiting for me. Stan says, oh yeah? You know, it's not just one or two, there's a whole bunch of them. You see, I'm from an orphanage. Stan says, really? Ruti says, an orphanage that's full of little kids. They're waiting for me to earn money for them. So that's why, says Stan. That's a real tear-jerker. Ruti says, haha, gotcha. Stan says, you were just pulling my leg? Ruti says, don't you think that story's a little good to be true? Stan says, wow, I'm such a sucker. Ruti says, you should learn to be a little bit more suspicious of people. Ruti says, well, there you have it. Stan says, don't let it go so easily. Ruti says, going on this trip wasn't so bad. This is for real, whatever the fuck that means. Stan says, oh yeah, I had a lot of fun too. Well, I guess that's how special you are to me, says Ruti. Stan says, well... Ruti says, you're so naive. Ah ha 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 ha. Stan says, you're messing with me again. Enough. The soldier says, it's time to go. Get away from that crusty hoe. Stan says, alright, I'll go. Ruti says, I won't see you again, but take care. Give my best to your family. Stan says, Ruti, take care. Alright then. Oh my, some flowers have appeared. Leon says, I'm home, Marion. Marion says, welcome back, Emilio. Is this game over? Did I beat it? The boy says, Miss Ruti, you're back. The girl says, souvenirs, where are they? Aren't you full of energy? Don't worry, I brought enough for everyone. Yay, hooray, say the children. Isles says, welcome back, it must have been a rough trip. Ailey's? I don't know. Philia says, it was a good experience. Things will be much harder from now on, we have to rebuild the temple after all. Philia says, as long as people seek salvation, there is no end to the path of faith, is there? Woodrow says, we will restore the country to its former state as soon as possible and eventually surpass my father's reign. Darzin says, I'm by your side wherever you go. Chelsea says, that was gonna be my line. Alba says, he beat you to it. Ho ho ho, Green Giant. There is one thing that I have learned through this trip, says Woodrow. It is not the size of the land or the grandeur of the castle, but the people that make a country what it is. I'm gonna need your help. I'm counting on all of you. Whoosh. Mary says there's no need to panic. We have plenty of time. Let's just take it slow. Is that okay, Dallas? Kongman says, I'm the champion. Ha 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 ha. Johnny says, I'll sing and I'll sing about my soul overflowing. With that wet ass pussy. Yeah, that wet ass pussy. Or something like that. Johnny, so this is where you've been loafing at. Oh man. Lilith says, big bro. Stan says, I'm home. Don't you I'm home me. Where have you been? You don't even write. Do you have any idea how worried sick I was? I'm sorry. Just calm down and I'll never leave you again, okay? Lilith says, really? Really? It's a promise, okay? I promise. Then I forgive you. Welcome back, big brother. And the lie detector said, that was a lie. I don't know. Leon says, that Stan guy, he said some strange shit to me. He called me a dear friend. Who the fuck talks like that? What an asshole. Marion says, it sounds like you're happy to hear it, bitch. Leon says, don't be so silly, ho. Marion says, please, have another cup of tea. Sarcastically, Leon says, yes, thank you. Marion says, anyways, I'm glad everything turned out okay. Leon says, indeed, I really hope this is the end. Is it just my imagination, or does it feel like the calm before the storm? Marion says, did you say something, Emilio? Leon says, I was just thinking that your tea is delicious. Now do some dishes. Bitches. With the stolen eye of antimony returned, peace came to the world once again, says the guy in the creepy mask, who's obviously evil. Let us first offer our sex blessings. But you must realize that it is only a temporary peace, says weird guy who never showed up before again. We must change in order for this world to have true peace. Bitches. The time is now. I want you to entrust me with your lives. I was prepared for this from the beginning. I will gladly give my life for yours. Whatever you say, Daddy. I have high hopes for you, my friends, for the realization of your ideals. Lilith says, wake up, bitch. You better wake up or your breakfast will get cold. Some big brother I have. So you want me to use the technique so badly, you leave me with no choice. Ladle in the right hand, frying in the left, let justice be done to those who lie in slumber. Roar, house, aileron, secret technique, wake the dead. Whoa. Oh, Lilith, good morning. It's so hard to get you up in the morning. Wow. I'm sorry for making you wake me. Keep up the good work. Lilith says, just leave it to me. Anyway, come quickly. Grandpa's hungry. Thomas says, I'm off to work. Stan says, I'm coming with you. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. I'll be fine. Thanks to your help, I've been able to get a lot of work done lately. Stan says, well, that's a shame, which makes no sense. Thomas says, now that you're back from your travels, you seem to have a lot of energy. Stan says, I don't think so. Lilith says, after all, home is the best place to be. Stan says, well... Lilith says, what is it? Big brother, maybe you want to go on another trip or something. Stan says, did you just say something? Lilith says, never mind. Don't just sit there. If you don't have anything better to do, you can help out around the house. Stan says, what do you want me to do? Lilith says, all right. Go do some shopping and get something to eat for dinner. Stan says, okay. Lilith says, his response worries me. Hush your little pie hole, doggy. Well, I'm gonna mute until I have to talk since there's a lot of background noise. Stan says, what should I buy for dinner? Maybe those fish. The clerk says we're out of stock today. Bacchus says, are you running an errand for Lilith? Stan says, yeah. Bacchus says, you're good, aren't you? You get to eat Lilith's food every day. Lilith's a really good cook, isn't she? I'm sure there are other guys. We have to do something about it now. Alright, let's get what you need. Stan, you can have this if you want. It's bargain beef. Stan says, you'll give it to me? Then I'll take it. Bacchus says, tell Lilith that I gave it to you. Okay. Stan says, here it is, bargain beef. Lilith says, you brought something decent for a change. Stan says, actually, Bacchus gave it to me. Bacchus says, hello, little Lilith, did you get my present? Bargain beef, from my heart, think of me when you eat it. Lilith says, now what? Stan says, come on. I don't care if you emphasize the bargain part. Lilith says, listen, Grandpa, he's a terrible brother. What the heck, Stan, you're still annoying Lilith, aren't you? I don't mean to be. You're not aware of it, and that's the problem. Big brother, you really can't do anything without me. If it's a family member, that's fine, but I hope you didn't bother your buddies during your trip. Stan says, I'm sure it's fine. Stan continues, it's already been 3 months. I hope everyone is doing okay. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the shadowy figures are attacking Leon with magic and blast him against a wall. Chaltier says, young master. The man in the robe says, he's stubborn, he should have listened. Leon says, I refuse. Question mark man says, when did you get so hard of hearing? You've been working with a bunch of fools and you've grown attached to them. Leon says, I'm acting of my own accord, I don't need you to tell me what to do. Let's crank it up a little then, since you don't seem to feel it. I'll take care of this. Can you see who's on the other side of the door? Leon says, bastards, what is she doing here? The cloak man says, let's take our time and talk about what's gonna happen next. Lilith says, wake up, you have a visitor. I'm sorry, it's very hard to wake up my brother. Anyways, Stan hears the sword speak. He says, I thought I heard Dimlos, but it can't be. It must be a dream. Philia says, long time no see. Stan says, are you a dream too, Philia? Lilith says, you're still not awake. Why don't you go to the living room? The secret technique, wake the dead. Stan says, it's been a while, Philia, and Dimlos and Clemente too. I'm so glad you came all the way out here to see me. Dimlos says, this isn't the time for greetings, bitch boy. Something terrible has happened. Philia says, someone stole that fucking gem again. Stan says, oh, fuck. Dimlos says, you don't have to yell, bitch. Will you please calm yourself? Stan says, I mean, I thought they built a facility to keep it sealed off. Philia says, I heard that the Draconis suddenly attacked and destroyed the facility. So they just took the goddamn thing with them. The Draconis is from Senegal, right? Why? Dimlo says there are other suspicious things to consider as well. The location of the Eye of Atimony seal must have been known to only a few. This time it was probably the work of someone from Synagald. No way! Philia says the king, his majesty, has decided to summon the Swordian Masters. I was supposed to pick you up, so here I am. Stan says, alright! I'm going with the others. I can't just leave it be. Philia says, I knew you would say that. Stan says, give me a minute, will ya? Lilith says, you're going away again. Stan says, Lilith. Lilith says, we had a deal. You promised you would never leave me again. I told you before how worried I was before when you left. Stan says, oh yeah. Lilith says, and yet you're still going. Still hoeing. Still flowing. You don't care about me or Grandpa, bitch. Stan says, that's not true. You and Grandpa are both very important to me, but this time it's... Philia says, please, Lilith. We desperately need your brother's help. Lilith says, this has nothing to do with me. Do what you want, bitches. Stan says, Lilith. Lilith says, big brother, you're a dumbass. Stan says, Lilith runs away. Grandpa comes and says, you made a big mess, dickhead. Stan says, Grandpa. Thomas says, get the fuck out of here. You're in a lot of trouble. I can see it in your eyes. Go forth and accomplish what only you can do. Thomas says, I'll take care of Lilith. Don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. Thank you, Grandpa. It made me feel better to hear you say that. I'll talk to Lilith myself as well. Bitch. Oh. Lilith, says Stan. Lilith says, you know, big brother, you're usually a bit of a doofus, but when it comes down to it, you're always dependable. Whenever I have a problem, you would rush out to help me. Stan says, really now? Lilith says, I'm sure Philia feels the same way. Lilith, listen to me, says Stan. I'm going. I've already decided. It was partly because the king asked me to, but that wasn't the real reason. The most important thing is that I want to do it myself. I'm torn, though, because I'm supposed to make my family happy, but it seems that my decisions make you cry. But now that I've heard what's going on from Philia, I can't just let it go. Lilith says, you can go. Don't worry about us. I'll make it work with Grandpa. Don't overlook people in need is a teaching of our family, is it not? Stan says, thanks, Lilith. Lilith says, remember this. This is where you will come home to. No matter what happens, make sure you come back safely. Stan says, okay. Lilith says, that's a promise, right? Stan says, I'll be back. Lilith says, yeah. Then we should go back into the house and get ready real quick. And I might even suck your dick. Oh, yeah, nasty boy. Take your clothes off. Oh, yeah. Stan says, nice to see you again, motherfucker. Dimlo says, from now on, I'm going to be tougher on you than ever. Be prepared. Stan says, you're the same as always. Philia says, let's get going. First, let's go out to Neustadt and take a boat to Fandaria. Stan says, you're going to see Woodrow, aren't you? Lilith says, take this, bitch. It'll come in handy. Wow, thanks. After all, how else am I supposed to take care of you? Okay, fair enough. Alright, let's go. Philia joined the party. Let's get the fuck out of here. What's in the bathtub? Is there a dead body? Hey man, you gonna be out late? This is my chance. Wow, is he gonna take a peek at her titties while she splashes around in the fucking tub? Oh my god, this game is a pervert. Bacchus says, are you going? Stan says, yeah, you'll be home soon, right? I don't know. Okay, don't worry, I'll take care of Lilith. Here are some gifts. We got a dowsing rod, whatever the fuck that's for. R2 in the field will activate the dowsing rod and allow you to find a discovery point. The crystal at the tip of the rod is a straight line away from the direction of the nearest discovery point. As you get closer to the discovery point, the crystal will turn red. You can only search for discovery points while the dowsing rod is activated. Activate your dowsing rod and explore discovery points around the world, bitch. Alright. The soldier says, I like you, Stan. You can leave the village whenever you want. However you want. Okie dokie. Stan, what about the sheep? Do you want me to take care of them? In your place? I don't say anything to the child, because I don't know why. Is this the sexit? The chief's daughter says, are you going somewhere? I say we're off to save the world. Are you going to lie and run away from home again? Stan, you're such a child. But I think that's typical of you. Dimlo says you can't help it. Alright, whatever. Stan says since we've come all this way to Neustadt, why don't we say hello to Irene? Philia says she might not be here. We passed through this city on the way to Linnea. Irene hasn't been seen in public for a while. I wonder if she went somewhere. Dimlo says we don't have time for a detour. Get on the fucking boat, bitch. What a cunt. Well, that bitch isn't home anyway, motherfucker. Who the fuck are you? Let's see if we can actually do anything at the arena now. Bitch. Fuck you people. Daddy's here. Let's do it. Let's do rank 1. Let's fucking do it, bitch. grab some poison stuff for that.
I love that right when I use that panacea bottle. Oh, of course. I'm getting stoned now. At least that appears to only last for a short period of time and not, like, cause a game over. Could be worse. Could be worse. Jesus, those things are annoying. Let's see if I can survive this one too. Or if I just die like a little whore in the street. Was I electrocuted or something? Trees are trying to kill me. Status effects are really annoying when you're alone.
Let's see what that'll do. Poison's gonna be a factor too. Lovely. Alright. Poison's worse, I think. Let's just see what happens. Because a lot of those gels paralyze, so... Charged or coil, huh? Yeah, I'm not messing around with that anymore. I'll come back when I'm more leveled. Looks like I'm healed, so I'm not worried about that. Stan says, let's get on the ship. Kongman says, hold on, guys. I'm the champion. I've always been well. You're going to Pandaria, right? I'm coming with you. Stan says, is it okay for you to leave the city? Kongman says, it'll be fine. Besides, I'm worried about you guys. Philia says, I'm glad you feel that way, but please don't take it too hard. Kongman says, you don't have to hide your feelings for me. Philia says, what? Kongman says, anyway, I've decided I'm coming with you. Stan says, okay, we'll be counting on you. Kongman says, I see, the Eye of Atimony. I didn't think it was possible. This is going to require more of my help. Stan says, by the way, why did Philia first come to me? Philia says, what? I'm so sorry. Did it bother you? Kongman says, damn you, Stan, don't be mean to Philia. Stan says, I'm not being mean. I was just wondering why you didn't join up with Leon first, because he's the one that's supposed to be closest geographically. Philia says, Leon is... we have no idea where he went. Clemente says, Philia had asked the king and the general, there was no clear answer. Stan says, I'm worried about him, I hope it's not too weird. Dimlo says, Shaltier is with him, I'm sure they'll be fine. Philia says, let's hurry up and join the others. Okie dokie. Stan says, Pandaria is always so cold. Kongman says, boo-hoo-hoo. Philia says, Kongman, are you okay with that outfit? Shouldn't you wear something warmer? Kongman says, what the hell, I have muscles of steel and I will not be defeated by the cold. Stan says, she told me to take it easy and wear something warm. Kongman says, shut the hell up, that was my nose getting mushy. Okay. Mary says, look, it's Stan and Philia. Stan says, Mary. Mary says, I'm surprised to see you here, you both look well. Philia says, did you move from Cyril to Frostheim? Mary says, no, I'm here with Dallas to take a therapeutic bath. I hear it's good for wounds. Stan says, it's been a while. How are you doing, Dallas? Dallas says, thank you, I'm feeling much better these days. Dallas says, thanks to Mary for taking care of me. Mary says, Dallas, you're embarrassing me. By the way, what brings you to the city? Philia says, in fact, there is a commotion over the Eye of Atimony again. Mary says, wasn't everything taken care of? Stan says, it was supposed to be. Philia says, we are on our way to Sinagald, meeting up with the others. Mary says, if that's the case, I should probably go with them. Stan says, it's okay, Mary, you have your own fucking problems to deal with. Mary says, I'm sorry. Philia says, don't worry about it, I'm just happy to see your face. Stan says, we're off to see Woodrow. Mary says, okay. Kongman sneezes again. Mary says, why aren't you wearing any clothes, you dumb ape? Kongman says, no need to worry, the body is covered with muscles of steel. Mary says, I'm not worried about you, I'm just saying you're a nuisance to the people around you. It makes me feel cold just looking at you. Please be more considerate. Philia says, Mary, you're so strong. Stan says, yeah. Motherfucker. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I'm gonna put my normal stuff back on. Her stuff. I think I had her with some yellow stuff. No, she had something else. Magic attack. Okay, yeah, that is yellow. Let's see if we can update anything. We will be able to soon, it looks like. Stan says, well then, Mary, I'm sorry to leave you, but we have to go. Mary says, oh yeah. Dallas says, Mary, Stan, you can go with them. I'm fine now. Stan says, what are you talking about? You know very well that Mary is very good at what she does. I'm sure she can help you. Isn't that what you've been hoping for in your heart, Mary? Mary says, indeed. Ever since I started living with you, every day has been a series of happiness for me. Whatever the fuck that means. We should do our best to make this happiness a permanent one. Mary says, Dallas. Dallas says, we owe you a great debt of gratitude, Stan. I have to give some of it back. Mary says, I'm gonna go too. I will now work with Stan and the others. Stan says, Mary, are you sure? Mary says, does it bother you that I want to come with? Philia says, no way, you're more than welcome. Mary says, okay then, it's settled. I swear it. Even though I'll be off in a foreign land, my heart is always with you. Dallas says, I swear it too. My soul is always with you, through both the good times and the bad. Mary says, let's get going. Stan says, good to see you again, Mary. Thank you, Dallas. Dimlo says, let's get Woodrow. Mary joined the party. I can't put her out of the party since I don't have an additional tune, I guess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Stan says, there's a certain liveliness to the city. My impression is different from the last time that I was here. Philia says, isn't it because of Woodrow's accession to the throne? Stan says, wow, he's a king now. Philia says, you didn't know about it. It was a pretty big announcement. Stan says, not at all. The only major incident I know of is Uncle Bob's hiccup. Kongman says, who's Bob? Dimlo says, hurry the fuck up, dipshit. Don't play tricks on me, says the man. The girl says, I'll be right back. Boom. Let's see if I can get rid of my items. Because there should be one of those merchant dudes somewhere. That's weird. I guess the shop doesn't sell the item that I need to take to the next place that I go to, so probably have to wait a while before we can do that. Throne room. I think it was this way. Woodrow says, it's been a long time, guys. I'm glad that you're doing well. Welcome to the castle. Stan says, Chelsea, I didn't think you'd be here. Chelsea says, after helping out in various ways, I ended up staying at the castle. I've been doing back-breaking work to help Woodrow. Philia says, Your Majesty, please accept my heartfelt congratulations on your recent accession to the throne. Woodrow says, there's no need to be so formal. We've been through so much together, haven't we? I want you to call me Woodrow, as you always have. Stan says, sure, no problem. Woodrow says, in regards to the Eye of Antimony, I can't believe it happened. I never thought the facility would be attacked by the Draconis. Dimlo says, do you have any further details? Woodrow says, unfortunately I don't. I guess we'll just have to ask His Majesty of Senegal directly. Stan says, then let's get going. Chelsea says, of course, I'll be coming with as well. Where there is Woodrow, there is Chelsea. Kongman says, nice to meet you. Mary says, is it okay for you to leave the country even though you just took the throne? Woodrow says, don't worry, I'll leave Darzin in charge. I, Darzin, will protect your Majesty's absence even at the cost of my own life. Woodrow says, this is the joint responsibility of Senegal and our country. As one of the parties involved, I have a duty to get to the bottom of this. Darzin says, by the way, Your Majesty. My apologies, Your Majesty, but there is something I need you to take care of before you depart. Woodrow says, I see. You heard the man. I'm sorry. If you could wait outside, please. Okie dokie doke. Woodrow said, Stan says, Woodrow has a lot of work to do, doesn't he? Dimlo says, that's what kings do. Chelsea says, Mary, do you have a minute? Mary says, sure. Philia says, what are they going to talk about? I don't know. Mary says, what's up? Chelsea says, I want to ask you a straightforward question. Are you on Woodrow's side? Mary says, so you're worried about the fact that I fought against the Royal Army 2 years ago. Don't worry about it. The matter is no longer an issue. Chelsea says, well then. Mary says, we're on the same side. We'll never be his enemy. Chelsea says, I'm glad. Mary says, What were you going to do if I told you I wasn't? Chelsea says, isn't it obvious? In order to protect Woodrow, I would shoot you in the heart with lightning speed. Mary says, I see. I thought you were still a child, but you've become a fine woman. Woodrow says, what were you guys talking about? Mary says, it's a secret. Woodrow says, sorry to keep you waiting. Let's leave the castle. Stan says, right. Notice, Woodrow and Chelsea have joined the party. And now, Woodrow's whatchamacallit can be used. That seems fine. Out those Swordian things. Okay, that's just a skit about that we filled up the monster book or whatever, and that he got the world champion belt for it. The exit is this way, actually. Stan says, let's go. Philia says, what should we do now? As for Ruti and Leon, I don't know where they are. That's a problem. Stan says Ruti would be in the city of Cresta. Philia says, are you sure? Then we won't be far from Darlsheed. I don't blame you. The situation is what it is. Woodrow says, let's head to Cresta. From Heidelberg, we need to head northeast across the border. Northeast across the border. Frostheim or Janos? Frostheim, so let's take the boat, I guess. I'm uncomfortable that you're naked. topless man. That's hilarious. I swear they said it was by Darl Sheed or whatever. These people are so happy. Cresta is to the east of this town. It's a glowing blue dot. It's hard to see. Stan says, this is Cresta, Ruti's hometown. Doesn't look that big, so let's split up and look for her. We can meet up in the square after we finish searching. There's a lot of stuff on sale here. Oof, so many different side effects in this game. Ruti says, and so the brave prince married the princess and they lived happily ever after. The end. The girl says, Ruti, I want another story. The boy says, I hope the next one is about slaying monsters. The girl says, no, I want another prince and princess story. The boy says, come on, that's not fair, we just heard a story about that. The children fight. Ruti says, it's time to go to bed. Stan says, Ruti, I think I've heard that story before. Dimlo says, what's the matter? Why don't you want to talk to me about it? Stan says, hey Dimlos, do you think it's a good idea to take Ruti along? Dimlo says, of course it is. Why would you ask? Stan says, it just seems that Ruti really enjoys spending time with these kids. Dimlo says, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Think about the gravity of the situation. Ruti says, that's right, and besides, after coming all this way, it would be a shame to leave empty-handed. Stan says, Ruti. Ruti says, what are you doing here? I thought I told you we were done with our arrangement. Stan says, actually, there's been a change. Ruti says, well, I suppose I could bill you for my time. You'll have to pay my fee plus interest. Stan says, Ruti, I have a favor. Ruti says, you need Atwites and my help, isn't that right? Stan says, how'd you know? Ruti says, when I saw you with Dimlos, I knew something was up. Dimlos says, the Eye of Atimony has been stolen again. Stan says, huh? Atwite, where are you? Ruti says, the warehouse. Ruti says Leon is probably nearby. That guy is so pathetic. Stan says, I heard that Leon went missing. I hope nothing bad happened to him. Ruti says, what's done is done. Now let's go and take it back. Stan says, are you sure you want to? Ruti says, don't be such a downer. You'll get to travel with me again. Aren't you happy about that? Stan says, of course. Ruti says, then it's settled. I'll go fetch my sword. I need to say goodbye to everyone really quickly. I'm gonna be heading out for a while. Keep an eye on each other. We'll miss you. I'll be back soon. Just be patient. Also, do what the sisters say. The boy says, okay. The girl says, come back soon and be careful. Ruti says, okay, now that that's taken care of, we can head out whenever you want. You're in for it now, Dimlos. Dimlos says, we must get to Synagald Castle as quickly as possible. Ruti says, where are the others? We'll meet up with them in the square. Let's get going then. Ruti joined the party. Ruti says, oh, look who's here. Everyone's here. Thanks for picking me up. What a surprise. Philia says, hello, Ruti. It's been a while. So, this is your hometown. Ruti says, well, yeah. Mary, why are you here too? You can't leave him alone, can you? Mary says, even though we are far apart, our hearts are connected. Ruti says, you've suddenly come out of nowhere with sincerity. I'm no match for you. Woodrow and Chelsea, you look great. Stan says, okay, let's head to Darlsheed. Leon might be back too. Philia says, yeah, you're right. Kongman says, whoa, did one of you forget to say hello? Ruti says, oh, Kong, you're here. Kongman says, you are the champion. To console himself, Ruti says, I'm just kidding. Darlsheed is west of Cresta. We'll go around the mountain. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna call that an episode, and thanks for watching. We will see you next time.